Hi there, scholars. I know you're all ready to do our next interactive read aloud. Inter meaning between, active meaning you're actively thinking, you're busy thinking. But guess what? Today we are going to do an interactive video aloud. Think about it. We are watching a lot of videos today and learning a lot from being online and watching those videos. But did you know that watching a video and learning is similar to reading a book and learning? Who knew? Remember when your teacher told you those wise words about that movie in your mind? Well, in a video, that movie is provided for you. So what I'm going to do today is give you some tips and tricks on how you can watch that video and make it into a great learning experience. Here we go. Here are some tips and tricks to make you a video watching ninja, or a video watching champion, or a video watching superhero, or a video watching, insert any word that means really good. Number one. Turn on the closed caption. It's that CC button on the bottom of the right-hand side of your video. It's an easy peasy way to not miss a thing. You have to train your brain to follow along and read the words as the video is talking, but soon, practice makes progress, you'll get better at it. It'll be super uncomfortable at first because your brain does not like new things. But then pretty soon, the hard becomes easy. That's why number one is turn on the closed caption. Number two is pause and summarize. I know what you're thinking. I hate pushing that pause button and then thinking about what I just listened to. But trust me, pausing allows your brain to relearn what it's learning, and it's going to help it make better connections in your head and stay there longer. I mean, who wants to watch something and then at the end forget about it the next day? You want to grow yourself as a learner. I guarantee you when you do this, your brain is going to argue with you. It's its job to keep you from any kind of discomfort. Think of it as being very lazy, y'all. We've got to use our wise owl up here in our prefrontal cortex. Hashtag remember brain camp. Say something to yourself like, I know, I don't want to push pause, brain, but I promised Mrs. Meyer I would, so stop arguing with me. That's why number two is pause and summarize, because it really helps your learning. Number three, jot down new words as you watch the video. Do you want to become a better scholar? Learn new words, grow your vocabulary, become vocabulary strong. You want to express your thoughts and feelings more clearly? Learn new words, grow your vocabulary. You want a new puppy? Grow your vocabulary. Just kidding. I don't think that'll work. And your parents will get mad at me if you ask. But do number three and jot down new words as you're watching the video. That's it. Just 3 quick tips to kick your video learning into high gear. Turn on the closed captioning. Pause and summarize. Jot down new words. Today, your interaction with the video is going to be to write, draw, or talk about 3 new words. Do whatever your teacher asks you to. But if your teacher doesn't ask you to do anything, do it in your head. Do it on a piece of paper. Draw it down. 3 new words. What? Did I hear some of you say, can you write down the definitions too? What kind of crazy scholars are you? Going the extra mile? Alrighty then, go ahead. Training your brain to always over-deliver is going to lead to some kind of amazingness in the future. You heard it here first. Let's get going on this video aloud adventure. Off we go.
So we're ready to start. You know how I said we had 3 tips to help us do a video and learn it more? I actually think I'm going to cheat and add a 4th. I said there was turn on the closed captioning. I got to do that. Here it is. CC. It's underlined red when it's on. So there's that. Turn on the closed captioning. Check. We did it. Pause and summarize as you go. And number 3, which is your interactive video aloud today, is to jot down new words. So I'm going to add a 4th. If the video is short, I really think you should watch it 2 times. I mean, if that thing is like an hour long, don't do it. But this one is only 2 minutes and 40 seconds. I mean, who doesn't have an extra 2 minutes and 40 seconds to find something interesting? Do it twice. The first time, we are just going to enjoy it. And the second time, we're going to work to add our learning. All right, enjoy view number 1.
We're in a race to save ourselves.
You'd be crazy not to have anxiety around climate change right now.
We have this optimistic urgency that we have to get after things.
We are on a journey to make the most sustainable shoe ever.
We have been spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to reduce our carbon footprint.
We kept going back to this phrase called in situ utilization.
There's this idea in space exploration that if you're going to fly to the moon, fly to Mars, and stay there and do something, you have to create things with what you find there. Say there's no resupply mission coming to Mars, there's no resupply mission coming to Earth either.
Noah came in, one of the great insights he had was, hey, what do we have laying around?
What if waste becomes our future feedstock? What if it is actually the material that we use?
And that's really where the idea of Space Hippie was born out of.
We just started grabbing different things we already had and putting them together. We were looking at everything and saying, oh, it's like super spacey, but it's also really rough. There was something about it that was so different than anything I had seen us doing.
It made our factory partners very nervous.
Hey, are you serious? Are we gonna really making the shoes like that?
They look weird because they're made of trash.
We are working on what it means to create a fully closed loop economy.
Reuse of materials so that we aren't causing more damage to the planet.
Sustainability at Nike, though, is not new. We divert over 1 billion plastic bottles a year.
And so there's this duality of high performance but low impact.
If we don't start now doing something, then we might not have that future to actually get to.
Our job is also to help protect the future of sport.
Our job is to leave the world a better place.
All right, we watched it. Number 1, view number 1. That was cool. Okay, so we're going to watch Space Hippie again, and this time we're going to try some of the tips and tricks that I talked about. First of all, do not forget that your interactive video Aloud is that you have to jot down some words. So I better get some paper ready, and I'm going to jot some down in here as I go. You may pick the words I pick, but you don't have to. You can pick your own words. There were a ton of them in there. Okay. I also am going to pause halfway through, and we're just going to summarize as we go. Let's practice this.
We're in a race to save ourselves.
You'd be crazy not to have anxiety around climate change right now.
Anxiety,
We have this
that's
optimistic
interesting.
urgency that we have to get after things.
We are on a journey to make the most sustainable shoe ever.
Okay, that word sustainable, I'm going to write that down right there, because later on they use the word sustainable again. Sustain, able to sustain. So I'm going to write that word down. I have to have 3 of them that I'm going for here, so I'm going to write that word down. We're on a journey to make the most sustainable shoe ever.
Shoe ever.
We have been spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to reduce our carbon footprint.
We kept going back to this phrase called in situ utilization.
You could write that word down. I have no idea. I know what utilization means, but in situ? I don't know. Whatever word grabs your fancy, whatever tickles your ears, I want you to write that down.
There's this idea in space exploration that if you're going to fly to the moon, fly to Mars, and stay there and do something, you have to create things with what you find there. say there's no resupply mission coming to Mars, there's no resupply mission coming to Earth either.
I like that word. I'm just going to back up a moment here. The word resupply. I like it because I like the idea of breaking apart that word to supply again. I also am going to put down what he said. There's no resupply mission to Earth. So they can't come back and supply us with the things we need. And as long as I'm paused, why not pause and summarize? I already paused. First of all, if you want that word, remember you can go back and find it in the, right there. You can say there's no resupply mission coming to Mars.
Mission coming to Mars, there's no resupply mission coming to Earth
either. So I'm going to pause. Okay, so far what I'm getting, and I hope I don't grab anything from the first time because really watching it the first time helped me a lot. But what I'm getting here is that they're looking at making these shoes out of junk, things that are coming. I saw the word earlier, the phrase carbon footprint. I like that phrase. It's kind of like the damage or what you take from the earth, what you kind of put your footprint in on the earth. And so as I summarize as I go, I'm thinking about, okay, they're taking junk. What a novel, neat idea to take all the garbage of the earth, but then turn it into something amazing. Summarize as you go.
Either.
Noah came in, one of the great insights he had was, hey, what do we have laying around?
What if waste becomes our future feedstock? What if it is actually the material that we use?
And that's really where the idea of Space Hippie was born out of.
We just started grabbing different things we already had and putting them together. We were looking at everything and saying, oh, it's like super spacey, but it's also really rough. There was something about it that was so different than anything I had seen us doing.
I'm going to pause and summarize. So they're taking the trash. They were looking the trash and they were saying, what if our problem becomes our solution? Our problem is we're putting so much on waste on the planet. What if that actually becomes the solution and we use it? Couldn't a company make a lot of money from that? I also couldn't get over this fact right here. You know, you're just a thinker when you go. First of all, I think they look pretty cool.
There was something about it that was so different than anything
This girl. I mean, what a fun job to have. You are designing tennis shoes. Are you kidding me? Like a fashion designer for shoes could be my dream job outside of being your teacher. But look at all these drawers behind her. They just have all the materials that they could use. And I guess sometimes I look at things and I buy things and I don't think of the amazing career that's behind it. Maybe somebody here will become a shoe designer.
I'd seen us doing.
It made our factory partners very nervous.
Hey, are you serious? Are we gonna really making the shoes like that?
They look weird. They're made of trash.
We are working on what it means to create a fully closed loop economy.
Reuse of materials so that we aren't causing more damage to the planet.
Sustainability at Nike, though, is not new.
There's
we
no word.
divert over 1 billion plastic bottles a year.
I'm going to pause there. We divert over 1 billion plastic bottles a year. Okay, divert. I'm going to put that down as my third one. Now, you may put a word down that you're, can you see that? You may put a word down that you're like, I don't know that word. I think that's totally fine. Kind of study how it's used. We divert over 1 billion plastic bottles in a year. We use, does divert mean use? Divert actually means to like get rid of. We get rid of, I drink it, get rid of it, over 1 billion. Think about it, y'all. 1 billion plastic bottles a year. So divert. I can see why you really would need to be scholarly and maybe go on to the dictionary on there and look up what that word means. Please do that. That would be so cool. And then find me in the hall and tell me you did.
Here.
And so there's this duality of high performance but low impact.
If we don't start now doing something, then we might not have that future to actually get to.
Our job is also to help protect the future of sport.
Our job is to leave the world a better place.
Cool. I hope you enjoyed that. I love his statement at the end. Our job is to leave. Well, first of all, he said our job is to protect the world of sports, the future of sports. And then the other guy said our job is to leave the world a better place. Now that kind of seems like a theme to me of this, of what Nike's trying to do. Tell you what, I'm going to leave this and I'm going to look up Space Hippie because I'm totally curious how much these things cost. And that's what happens when you are doing nonfiction. You're like, oh, that was interesting. And then it takes you on a rabbit hole down to studying other things.
Scholars, I hope you enjoyed this interactive video aloud. And remember those tips. Turn on the closed caption, pause and summarize, jot down new words, and I cheated and added a fourth. If it's short, watch it again. Your interaction today is to write, draw, or say, whatever your teacher says, 3 new words that you jotted down. Go that extra mile if you're that kind of person. Have at it. Over-deliver. But most importantly, do not stop until you're proud. See you next time.